Welcome to another chapter of the Holy Land's epic history on Chronom TV. This episode explores the Kingdom of Israel's rise and fall. We'd love to hear your feedback on any mistakes. Your comments help us improve, and we'll keep correcting as we go. Please subscribe and like to support Chronom TV to join us on this journey. And now, let's get back to our story and continue this incredible journey through the ages. When the Jews under Moses' leadership miraculously escaped through the Red Sea and reached Mount Sinai, it marked the beginning of a long and arduous journey. Around 1446 BCE, when Moses stood in the presence of God, the people camped at the foot of the mountain, waiting in an atmosphere filled with lightning and thunder. God gave Moses the 10 Commandments on 2 stone tablets, which formed the spiritual foundation of the people. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make idols for yourself. You shall not take the name of the Lord in vain. You shall keep the Sabbath day holy. You shall honor your father and mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife or possessions. As Moses descended the mountain, he saw the people worshiping the golden calf. In anger, he broke the tablets, but with God's forgiveness, new tablets were made. This event became the first test of the 40-year wandering in the wilderness. In the Sinai desert under Moses' leadership, the people were sustained by miracles of manna and water, but rebellions were frequent. Amid these challenges, the Jewish people faced a great obstacle. 400 years had passed, and the land of Canaan was not empty. It was inhabited by powerful peoples, such as the Canaanite city-states, Amorites, Hittites, and Jebusites. Their cities were fortified with high walls, and strongholds like Jericho were impregnable without battle. Having lived as slaves in Egypt for 400 years, the Jews lacked military experience, while the peoples they faced were seasoned warriors. Impatience and distrust frequently arose among the people. There were rebellions against Moses, with some saying, "It would have been better to remain slaves in Egypt," and wanting to turn back. The long wandering in the desert exhausted and disheartened the people. God informed Moses that the people were being tested. Idolatrous tendencies often emerged among the Jews, which is why God did not allow them to enter Canaan immediately. Moses' generation, due to their disobedience to God, would not enter Canaan. Only the next generation, led by Joshua, Yehoshua, after Moses, would do so. Around 1444 BCE, at Kadesh Barnea, God chose 12 spies to send into Canaan. Joshua and Caleb, unlike the other 10 who gave fear-filled reports, boldly argued that Canaan could be conquered. Joshua, who had served as Moses' attendant from a young age, stood guard at the entrance of the tent on Mount Sinai and proved his competence in the victory against the Amalekites, marking him as a future leader. Because of that generation's cowardice, God commanded 40 years of wandering in the desert. Moses patiently led the people, teaching them the 10 Commandments, and died of old age in the plains of Moab, unable to enter Canaan. His brother Aaron served as a priest, but died of old age on Mount Hor. Their sister Miriam also died of old age in Kadesh, remembered in connection with the water shortage. Joshua's rise began during these challenging years. Around the age of 80, before Moses' death, God appointed him as the new leader of the people. His tall stature, strong presence, and calm demeanor earned the people's trust. God told him, "Be strong and courageous, for you will lead this people to the promised land." At the end of the 40 years, Joshua led the people to the Jordan River. The river miraculously parted as the priests carried the ark. Upon reaching Jericho, Joshua sent 2 spies who, with Rahab's help, scouted the city. The walls fell through Joshua's strategic plan and God's power, proving his leadership ability. The people settled in Canaan, and Joshua died peacefully at 110, ushering in a new era. After Joshua, the period of the judges began, but unity unraveled. Saul, the first king of the Israelites, was a strong warrior, but lost his throne due to disobedience, and died fighting the Philistines on Mount Gilboa. David succeeded him, gaining fame by defeating Goliath in his youth, making Jerusalem the capital, and uniting the people. In old age, he passed the kingdom to his son Solomon and died. Solomon built the temple and ruled with wisdom, but his death in old age led to the kingdom's division. His son Rehoboam took the throne, but his harsh rule angered the people. The 10 northern tribes, led by Jeroboam, formed the kingdom of Israel, and Jeroboam created a religious schism with his own worship centers, dying in old age amid internal strife. Following Solomon's death, the 10 northern tribes, led by Jeroboam, established the kingdom of Israel. Jeroboam set up his own worship centers in Bethel and Dan to maintain unity, though this was seen as a rebellion against God. He died in old age amid internal strife, marking the beginning of the kingdom's weakening. Ahab's reign. Ahab, who ascended the throne in the north, promoted Baal worship under his wife Jezebel's influence. This sparked a major conflict with the prophet Elijah. Elijah triumphed over the Baal priests with God's fire miracle on Mount Carmel. Ahab's death occurred in the Battle of Ramoth-Gilead against the Philistines, signaling the kingdom's growing vulnerability. Jehoahaz proved weak against the Arameans, leaving the people oppressed. Jehoash attempted to correct his father's mistakes, but the kingdom remained unstable. Both died in old age during periods of internal conflict. Jehu's rebellion, Jehu acting on God's command, ended Ahab's dynasty with a bloody coup and took the throne, striving to eradicate Baal worship. His rule, however, was marked by harshness, and he died in old age during a time of ongoing instability. Jeroboam II's golden age. Jeroboam II brought temporary prosperity to the northern kingdom, expanding its borders and boosting the economy. Yet this wealth led to moral decay. The prophet Amos criticized the injustice of this era. Jeroboam II died in old age, marking the end of the kingdom's last bright period. Collapse and Assyrian captivity. After Jeroboam II, the kingdom rapidly declined. Frequent changes in leadership, internal wars, and corruption took their toll. In 722 BCE, the Assyrian Empire conquered Samaria. The population was exiled, and the 10 tribes became known as the Lost Tribes, fading into history. This was the end of episode 2. But the story is far from over. As the people of Israel established their kingdom and built a land they believed would endure forever, new shadows began to rise from the east. A mighty empire, feared by many, had set its eyes on their lands. The Babylonians were coming, and with them, a storm that would change history forever. In the next episode, witness how the Babylonian assault shook the kingdom of Israel to its very core. Don't miss it. Stay tuned.